welcome to the Developers Log, and my name is Joseph, as you already know. Could you kindly introduce yourself and just, give us a little bit of your background?
My name is Twumasi. Um, happen to be a DevOps engineer at Engine, currently doing my national service. Yeah, completed KUST last year, computer science. Yeah, I think that's a bit about me. I have other interests, I have other passions aside, software engineering stuff. I do music, I do a bit of arts, and then, yeah, basically. I'm also someone who's I also like physical activity, the military style of activity. So I'm also a cadet person and all that. Yeah, so that's me in summary.
Okay, that sounds cool. DevOps engineer. And you mentioned you're part of you were part of the cadets.
Yeah, yeah,
How was that?
I'm, I'm a cadet officer, so yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm,
Okay. What's that experience like?
like I said, it's very physical endurance, mental stress, mental toughness, and all that. Yeah, as you can see, my hat, the inscription on my hat, as you can see, is written
Yeah, yeah,
"Obey."
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
Exactly,
helps you with discipline and everything like that.
exactly. Yeah, it helps you with time management. It helps you with, you know, um getting on the nerves of people. People getting on your nerves, how to treat them, and all that. You get to know more about people management. As an officer, you get to see a lot of um, traits in people. You get to know how to deal with them at various instances. When you are supposed to use pressure, when you are supposed to use a dialogue, when you are supposed to do democracy, all those kind of things. Yeah, so we go out, we live in the bush. Some go to the bush for like 4 days, 5 days. Yes, we sometimes sleep on the floor, raw like that, we come back and all that. Yeah, it's a very fun experience.
Okay. I've actually always wanted to join the cadet, but I don't know. I just never took the initiative. Mhm. Maybe I'll look into it later on.
Oh, probably, yeah, sure. You should try that. It demands a lot of work. It demands a lot of work.
Okay. Okay. So, what's your current field of interest and why are you passionate about it? I think you mentioned DevOps, right? Is that your field of interest? That's what you're actually interested in?
Yes, so currently I'm very much interested in DevOps. Yeah. So the reason being that I'm someone who likes more engineering stuff, like putting the piece of the puzzle, to make sure that something happens to get it. So I will always choose the architecture, the engineering side of stuff on any day. That is why I actually enjoy a lot of DevOps. With DevOps you get to bring whatever that has been developed by the programmers, and then you use a lot of tools to architect all of these things. You are more like the structural engineer. I don't know if you know who a structural engineer is. You are more like a structural engineer. So you need to construct everything from the development environment to bring into production, and then because of you, customers are able to see the products of the companies. But then more often than not, you are the one playing the behind the scenes role. No one really gets to see you. But then when something breaks, that person that looks for. Yeah, so basically that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. It sounds a little bit like you mentioned that you are basically working behind the scenes and all of that, and it sounds kind of like you are the person who is in charge of making sure that the back end is actually like running, functioning, able to communicate with the front end and all of that.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So front end will write their code. When they are done, they are done. Back end will write their code. When they are done, they are done.
Yeah.
Some of them stubbornly don't even do unit testing and all that. They are very crazy, and you have to do all of that. Yeah, like I said, you can be in bed and then around 2 a.m. the pipeline will break, and then the first person they are calling is you. Hey, the pipeline is broken, and then you go and check. Everybody thinks it's your fault. You
Yeah.
go and check, and then you realize a developer didn't write a test and then he just pushed everything to production. And you're like, you need to tell me before you do this. And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Time was up and blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
actually enjoy it, like I said, very, very much because you serve as the link. You have your feet in practically every part of the company. You have your feet in every part of the company, from networking to engineering.
Yeah. Wow. Sounds like it's a very tasking field. Like, so what are some of the projects you've worked on so far and some of the setbacks and accomplishments you had along the way in your field of DevOps?
Okay, so in doing DevOps, I developed the interest for DevOps way back in um, second year of university. That is where I decided that, okay, hard coding, front end designs, it's not for me. I'm not that kind of person. Right. So I realized that I love more of how the thing is working, not just writing, but how the thing is working. How will I see the thing? How would this thing be able to sustain over time? Some of the projects I've worked on, the funny thing about this is you have to be someone who is very adaptive to I mean to the environment, right? Because the last project I worked on, like I said, it was building a CI/CD pipeline for a machine learning project, and then you realize that um, the frameworks and the languages they use, Fast API, React, JS, I believe, and some other frameworks and all that. You need to one way or the other have a fair idea about how it works. Like you just need to really read the code, read those large lines of code, and really understand what they are actually trying to do. Because remember, you're going to write more of a Docker file. You're going to produce Docker environments. You're going to push to Jenkins. So yes, the last project I worked on it involves machine learning algorithm. I think it was an image recognition system that the people were using, and then they needed to have a flow state such that when someone sees an image, the system is able to recognize the image. It does the back end processing almost instantaneously in real time, and then provides feedback to the user. Yes, it sounds very basic, but then we needed lots of architecture behind the scenes. And like I said, that is where no one sees you working. But then the
Yeah.
moment they look at the image and the image is not producing anything, you are the first person you call. Hey, why is it that the image is not working? Yes. So it was fun because I got to use tools and then um some tools which I've never really used before, but then for the purposes of the project, you have to open documentation to read and get to know how to use it almost instantaneously.
Yeah. Wow. Sounds interesting. Really sounds interesting. And yeah, I understand. I understand. Because even me myself as a backend guy, usually when things start breaking, I'm the first person they come to. So you who is in charge of basically making sure that everything is functioning, yeah, I can imagine the amount of pressure that will be on you. Okay, so the next question is how do you like to relax and unwind and what are your hobbies and activities outside of work?
Okay, so to unwind, um, like I said, I do music. I play keyboard. I play brass instruments as well. Compared to when I play those. So basically, my online session is more like music. Yes, basically, my online session is more like music. But nowadays, I don't remember the last time I actually unwinded because what I do is that my weekdays are for working and then learning. Then my weekends, I put all work stuff away, focus on music, and then the other stuff. So that is how I divide my weekdays for strictly programming, software engineering stuff, and then my weekend nothing software engineering stuff. Yeah. And then also looking at the weekdays, you might think that I do 24 hours software engineering. No, but then there are aspects of software engineering that serves as hobbies. So I like reading a lot. I like reading a lot. I'm a bit inquisitive, so and then I'm not that social media person, but then I like to go ahead and check on current things. I like to see the current trends, see what is going on in the country and all that. Yeah. So when I'm not working, when I'm not doing anything software engineering, I am probably writing. I do technical writing as well. So it's either I'm probably writing or I am on the socials. Socials, I mean Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. I don't know. Right. Either I'm writing or I'm on the socials. Then simultaneously I'll listen to some music in the background or some podcast in the background.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. For me, I unwind by watching anime. I'm not sure if you're interested in
Oh yeah,
anime.
anime. No. I'm not a fan of anime. I've seen a lot of programmers do anime. Like
Yeah.
I wonder how you would do that. Because I've never been a fan of animes. Never.
Wow.
I've never been a fan of anime. The only ones that I've ever watched, you probably would say Tom and Jerry and probably Super Strikers. I'm done. Nothing else comes into the picture. Or probably Scooby Doo. But then I don't have time to go look for animes and watch. Yeah. But I'm
Wow.
wondering why you guys find it really. I'm wondering why you guys find it really enjoyable watching anime. Like we could actually be at work, and then the moment it's lunchtime, it's anime time. I'm like, beautiful. Are you serious? They just open the anime and you're also interested in watching. Like, hey, oh no. But then I mean, everyone has a way to unwind.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's cool.
But do you watch movies at least? Since you're not interested in anime, do you watch movies?
Occasionally,
Yeah.
I go to the program and then I get them and then I put them on the machine. So on particularly days when the internet is messing up, I stop working and I watch movies.
Ah, okay.
I watch some of them. Yeah. So I'm not really constant with it, but then probably in the evenings when I'm too stressed out, I'll just lay on my bed and I just be watching them whilst I
Okay.
scroll through social media.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so next question. Do you have any love interests or anyone you fancy, and are you in a relationship at the moment?
Perfect mates in relationship. Someone told me they are two likable posts and like posts repel. So I mean, I'm currently not in a relationship. I was, but then currently I'm not. Um, yeah. So that's a civil expression. And yes, of course, I found relationship stuff. I mean, it's good. I read, I read, I read stuff on you know improving not just in software engineering, but then improving your capacity as a man.
Yeah, yeah.
As a man, you know your purpose. You know those. I'm careful. I choose my content wisely because there are a lot of red pill masculinity stuff all around there on the internet. So I filter out my content and then I watch or I read those things which I know actually helps me. Some of the information I get them and then I just filter them out to see which ones really work, which ones don't work. You just live your life. Maybe once a week or twice a week, or maybe once in 2 weeks, go on a date with someone and come back, you know how the person is. Just take your time and enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. No, I would actually encourage because there are times where, we are human beings, we are social beings, and we
Yeah.
need people around us, no
Yeah.
matter how it's going to be. And there are certain emotional needs that we have, especially as men, that our sisters, our mothers, our cousins, they'll never be able to fill that need, right? I'm not encouraging you to, I mean, go in for a girlfriend because you are lonely, but then if you have the time for it, if you have the capacity for it, I mean, why not? Because I don't believe in the fact that you need to really finish up and then level up to the point where you have lots of financial gain before you start looking for relationship. At that point in time, my worry is that whoever is coming is the person coming because you are successful, or the person is coming because you have the cash. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So if logically, if you can get, if you're not able to date anyone whilst you are building, what's the probability that you'll be able to date someone when you are done building? I mean, when you are done building according to your timeline, when you feel like you are
Ready, finally ready. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually. And basically you were saying that we should try to start, exploring at least now while we are still building instead of waiting until we are done building according to our own timeline, because that actually
Yeah,
helps to encounter new scenarios, learn about how people are, and instead of having to wait until you are done and then and you won't be sure whether the person is only coming because you are successful, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think as human beings, as you are developing, you need to try and then develop every aspect of yourself. There's one thing that I see this relationship then bring, and the only thing I see it bringing is how to communicate, like communication and how to deal
Yeah.
with people. If you are actually pursuing a lady, you start to develop this kind of patience, tactical skills. Like you become very tactical about the thing because you really want to hit your point and get the thing right, right? And then it becomes a part and parcel of you, such that when even in the working world, you have some things that you need to defend, you have some things that you need to go for. Naturally, you start applying those kind of practices to it. That's how I see it, right? Because if you have, let's say you are in a relationship, of course, it's going to be chaotic 85%, 75% of the time, it's going to be chaotic, right? And then you are able to deal with that chaos almost all the time. Like not almost all the time, but then there are times you're able to deal with it, times you're not able to deal with it. When you
Yeah.
go to the professional world and then you get to meet something like that, it becomes almost easier for you to deal with it because hey, I'm dealing with a much more stubborn matter one at home. And then you also get that kind of emotional support that you also need. Yeah. So I don't think anyone should shy away from it. I mean, embrace it because you don't really have a definite time when you're going to fall into it. So as and when it chances upon you, just embrace it and learn as you move ahead.
That's very good advice. That's very good advice actually. And that's actually advice for me as well. So I am paying attention.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Perfect.
What is one thing you've accomplished within the year so far that you are proudest about?
This year,
Yeah, just within this year so far.
wow. Within this year, I can't really think of one because most of the things I'm doing are still in the process of being
Oh,
completed.
yeah.
Yeah. So I can't really pinpoint something that have actually was I've actually started projects. I actually started projects at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So most of them are so some of them are near completion, others are still in the process.
Yeah. Are any of them personal projects
Yeah.
like that you are just working on yourself?
As in the software engineering field or outside the software engineering field.
Uh, well, both of them. Whichever one you want to talk about, whichever one you're comfortable talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. Um so okay, I have this thing where I read some set of books in some amount of time. I mean, given a fixed amount of time, I have particular books that I actually would like to finish. I normally do that almost every month. Get a book for the month and then finish up. I think I've been a bit consistent with that one. I mean, there are other minor stuffs which I feel personally I feel like I've accomplished. Um, so some of them being my social presence. I think I went back to Facebook. I started becoming active on Facebook. Went on my profile on Facebook, and I'm actually glad about it. And then I think I also worked on my profile on Twitter, and I'm actually glad about it as well. So for me, basically, it's the small details. And you're asking for completion, but I am actually glad I have started certain things, though they are not. I mean, they are
Yeah,
not completed,
complete.
but
Yeah.
then I've started them. Yeah, I've started them. For one, um, I started technical writing last year, writing articles and all that last year. I gave it a very long break because I mean it takes a while to write an article. But then just recently, I've been able to put up one piece together that I'm yet to publish, and I'm actually glad because it signifies to me that I'm still on the track and I'm
Yeah.
still growing. And then finally, I've been able to make some connections which they are very beneficial. Yeah. When I talk about connections, you understand.
Yeah.
They are very, very necessary, connections, yeah. Connections. And then yes, even aside the connections, my one of my major goals for the year was to attend in-person meetings, right? So networking events, tech events, social events, those kind of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so far so good. So far so good.
You know
You
what? The
get there.
next time you are going for any of those events, invite me because I also need to start going for some. Because I'm
Yeah,
always in the
very, very
house.
necessary. Very necessary, bro. Very necessary. I'm always at home, just like you. I'm always at home. I work remotely, so I'm
Yeah,
always at
yeah,
home. And you get to go to these tech events and you get to meet people and then they get to talk about themselves and all those kind of things. Very nice. At least you get to step out of the house and connect with people on a personal level. I think I should actually intensify that thing. It's very necessary because of social media and because of our phones. So we think that, if you want to connect with someone, just connect with them on their
yeah,
phone, blah blah blah.
yeah.
But then there is something which I don't I don't really understand, but there's this chemistry which happens when you meet people in person and you connect with them in person, face to face. It's totally different. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's totally different. You just you just bond with the person. If you're supposed to bond with the person, you are bonding with the person. If you're not
Yeah.
able to bond with the person, that's it. You know that even if you take the person, it's not going to work. But then in person, the person sees you, the person has a feel of you, the person sees how you do your things, just that moment, and then everything clicks. Yeah, so try that. It's really helps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll definitely be hitting you up from time to time to figure out if there are any
Oh yeah.
events that are relatively near me that I can accompany you to. to.
Oh, of course, exactly. Very necessary.
Okay. There's a okay, yeah. Okay, so the next question, what advice would you give yourself 1 year ago if you had the opportunity to watch this video 1 year ago? Like if you were 1 year younger, right? And you were watching this video, what's one advice you would like to have heard back then?
Okay, so spend on yourself first. Spend on yourself first. Another
Oh,
way for
okay.
saying it, invest in yourself
Yeah,
first. But
yeah.
then yes,
Spend
I
on
would say
yourself
spend on
first.
yourself first. I got to realize that it's very, very necessary. Like very, very necessary. You get to realize that anytime you get something like that, you tend to think about others, which is very good. I'm not in any way opposing that, which is it's very good. But then you realize that you are growing. Logically, you are growing. You need to start getting things for yourself. You need to start going to the market to buy things by yourself instead of allowing your parents to buy it for you. You need to start shopping for things yourself instead of making others do the shopping for you. When your things get broken, you need to start fixing them yourself instead of making mommy or daddy fix them for you, right? So
Yeah.
basically, investing in yourself, like spending on yourself first. I mean, out of school, 1 year ago, I was in school. So the advice I would have taken, if I had known this thing earlier on, things would have been different now. Things would have been a lot more different now because I now know this, and then trying to do it, even though it's still not too late. There is still time. I still have time to do all that. But then I started seeing that it's really helping me because you are taking responsibility for every single thing that you fucking do. Like every single damn thing that you are doing, you are the one taking the responsibility for it. So whether you want to sleep, whether you want to wake up, whether you want to do an all night, whether you want to go here, or you want to go there, you want to wear this kind of shoe, you want to wear this kind of dress, you want to buy this kind of course, you want to, I mean, you take full responsibility and you do it for yourself. Make yourself happy. There's something I did some months ago. Not about some weeks ago. It was in the evening. I mean, I had left my glasses. I had worked the hoodie without glasses, so I was having a bit of strain on my eyes. In the evening, I was so hurt that, I mean, my eyes were so hurt that I couldn't really do anything about it. So what ended up happening was that right after supper, I decided that, okay, I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to take a walk. So I I just took on my jacket and then I just went out. I went to the club, the bar. I just went to sit down. I bought some drink. And in fact, I was really happy with what I did because I went to sit there and enjoyed nature, enjoyed the fresh air. And I came back and I was like, wow, I should start looking more often.
Yeah. But that's
Go
one
and
thing
sit
I
by
usually
myself
do.
and just
Yeah.
watch how things like take my mind off everything, just sit down and just watch the world, just watch the
Yeah.
cars
Yeah.
moving,
Yeah.
just enjoy the air. Just, yeah. And I realize it's a good therapy for me, like seriously. So yes, invest in yourself, build yourself, spend on yourself first before anything
Yeah.
else.
Okay. Okay. Very, very solid advice. Um, the previous person we interviewed, right? He had a question, and I'm asking
Yeah.
you that question. So his question was, how do you manage your time when it comes to work, life, everything? How do you manage your time effectively?
I think managing your time is individual, it's really personal because you have different time schedules. You have different things that need to be accomplished in the day. And to be consistent, it's not really doing everything according to time. No. There are times where consistency would mean this. There are times where it also means this. There are times where you are feeling so lazy to do anything. It's normal. It is very normal. Times where you are feeling so lazy to do anything. Like there are times I will wake up from bed, my laptop will just be closed by, and I'll be like, shit, let me just close the laptop. I just close the laptop and I just lay on the bed. It's not like I'm browsing on the, I'm just lying down. No
Yeah.
one should come to my room. No one should disturb me. I'm lying down. Like it's not like I'm praying or anything. I'm just lying down. I'm not thinking. I'm not nothing. I'm just lying down. It's all part of it. So time management just with me is like this. When I wake up in the morning, I ask myself, what do I need to do today? Just one thing I need to do today. If maybe it's a project that I'm working on, where do I need to get to by the end of the day? If I identify what I need to get by the end of the day, I'm someone who normally likes to work early morning or late evening, right? Early morning when I'm awake or late evening when everyone is going to sleep because I don't really like the noise that comes through. Like, if you're having this meeting, I was being called. I mean, a lot of noise all around. You can't even concentrate, right? So you look at what you do in the morning, you look at what you do in the evening, and then you try to fit whatever that you want to do into the hours that you think you are very productive. That is time management for me. The hours that I'm productive, that is where I do any demanding tasks. Then for the rest of the day, as it comes, it goes. So but yes, live through the day. I mean, linear tasks, scroll on social media, work a little bit on an article, do this here, do this there. Because they were not really your primary focus because you had already accomplished your primary focus. That is time
Yeah.
management for me. Focus on what you need to do for the day. Even if it's just one, just focus on it and do it at a point in time where you are very productive. So if it's in the morning, do it in the morning before anything else. There are times where I wake up very early to shower and my mom will be like, what are you doing? No, I'm not doing anywhere. I just go to shower, cold, come to sit down, open a laptop. When I'm done, I put it on my sleep. Done. That's time management. So that's what I think about that.
Time management. Yeah. 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 That's very interesting because I try to do that sometimes, and I feel like I still end up not managing my time very well. So I don't know that advice actually hits home for me. So pick one thing or pick a set of things that I want to have accomplished by the end of the day, and then make sure you accomplish them, right? And usually the best time to actually work on them is the hours that you've noticed that you're very productive. Yeah, that's very good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I think we'll be ending the uh, interview here. Hopefully, we'll have a future interview with you. but that would be down the line,
Oh,
right? So yeah, because and also I think we'll try to make it an in-person interview because I think that would be the best scenario, right? Where we wouldn't have to have
okay. Yeah,
interruptions from other people and everything like that, and no network
yeah,
issues.
yeah. Our circles are really helping us, and they're really, really breaking us. Yeah, they're really helping us, and they're really breaking us at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nowadays, I don't even know if they have a contract with ECG. You you'll be working, you'll be working, you'll be working, and by the time you realize, the lights are off.
Oh,
The lights are off, and then you start up, you become very angry, and then by the time you
oh,
decide to stop someone, the lights are back on.
I know, right?
It's very crazy, but then that's where we are now. So we just need to be by.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, do you have any closing remarks, anything you'd like to say?
Well, okay, so I'm actually grateful to you for the invites. I mean, it's been a pleasure coming here to share my experience with people who would listen.
It's been a pleasure having you here as well, and thank you for joining the interview. So, at that point, we wrap up the second episode of the Developers Log. Catch you next time.